Yes, people, welcome to a match reaction. Arsenal versus Forest. Yeah, as you can see, they've obviously won 3-0. But before we get into the game, before we get into anything, like, subscribe, and make sure you comment. Yeah, don't be frauds. Yeah, don't be frauds. Yeah, and make sure you support my channel, man. Big up to everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. I know Arsenal fans are buzzing about this performance. They got the 3 points. But you know what? Before Zubimendi scored that screamer, yeah, it was a good goal, right? Very good goal on the volley. I actually thought Forest defensively were sound. They've just hired Ange, who's known for his attacking style of play, right? And the high line, everyone was cooking him for it at Tottenham. They were all saying, why can't he adapt? Why can't he adapt? Unfortunately, he beat my club in a final, showed that he can adapt in a one-off game. And obviously, Nuno, he's more about how organized you are defensively, hit them on the break. He was using the likes of Elanga, and it worked perfectly. Now, with Ange, I think when he does have his next game at home, we're going to see what he's about, because facing against Arsenal in your first game, like, as much as I don't really rate them highly, they are a tough team to break down, right? Because we know Arteta ball in it. Like, Arteta ball is a bore fest to watch. It's boring. You're going to fall asleep. You might as well be in a museum. But they are difficult to break down. I will give them that. And that's why when people talk about defenders, yeah, obviously you need competent defenders to defend well. But notice how, even if Gabriel doesn't play, Saliba doesn't. Saliba didn't play today. It was Gabriel and Mascara. Mascara, I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's a decent player, but he's joining a team that is defensively solid and defensively sound. We've seen Arsenal beat Madrid without, I can't remember who it was, but they had they had the other centre back, Kivio, yeah, they had Kivio playing there, and he played fairly well, right? And there was no Gabriel there, because I remember Saliba making the mistake to Vinny, and then they were trying to get the momentum going. But yeah, I thought Nottingham Forest going forward, they kind of picked up a little bit in the second half. First half, they didn't really do much. There was an opportunity where their right winger, made a crossing, and then I don't think Chris Wood anticipated it, but it hit his chest, and then it almost went over Ray, hit the crossbar. There was an instance too where Gibbs White laid it off to Chris Wood. Chris Wood gave it back to Gibbs White, and then he just hit it wide. I don't think Gibbs White had a great performance today, but yeah, Zubimendi today was solid. I'll give him that. 2 goals. He was quite good. Erdegaard got injured, fell on a shoulder. But yeah, bro, like Gyökeres, like I know he got the goal, but with Gyökeres, like he's not really gonna do much other than like he's not gonna give you a 10 out of 10 display in terms of his overall performance and hold up. And do you get me? Like, give him space, let him run in behind the defense and make that run, and then he'll get the tap in. And you saw that when Calafiori made a quality ball in to Eze. Eze on the left, boom, Gyökeres goal. But I want to talk about Eze. I know he got the assist and he had some decent moments on the left-hand side. But my thing is, you can tell that he always wants to drift centrally. Now, I made a comment before he signed for Arsenal that, yeah, he's a very good player. Just because I don't think he's going to be able to fulfill his full potential and showcase what he did at Palace into an Arsenal shirt doesn't mean I don't rate him. But the way how he was expressing himself at Palace, the way how he was picking the ball from midfield and attacking and going forward, and he's got the license to do that, right? Similarly to how Grealish is at Everton. At Aston Villa, when Grealish was there, he was starting on the left-hand side. You saw it on the lineup. But in game, he would be everywhere. Dean Smith just told him to, listen, do whatever you want, pretty much. Express yourself. Gave him the freedom. He can showcase his creativity. And we know Eze's best. We know that Eze's best performances in a Palace shirt all came centrally, whether that be scoring goals, whether that making runs in behind their defense, whether that be ball carrying and skipping past guys while dribbling at speed. So we know what Eze's about. And on the left, you're kind of restricting him a little bit, just because Like, I know he got an assist, but first half he wasn't really in the game. But that's because he's playing on the left. Like, when you're going to see Eze thrive if he's played in Ødegaard's position. And I rate Ødegaard. I think he's a good player, but he's a bit too passive these days. And with Eze, he's got more about him. He's got more about him. He's got more of a personality. He's more aggressive. You know, he's that type of player that can if the game's not going Arsenal's way, he can do something out of nothing, right? I don't think he's the player that's going to lead Arsenal to a title, but he's a very good player. I do like Eze. So I think Eze was just steady today. I think he was just steady. Had some decent moments, obviously got the assist, like I said. But yeah, I don't think Gyökeres was great. He got the goal. Zubimendi was fairly good, to be fair. Their back line was solid. Forest didn't really hurt Arsenal's defence. Not many shots were taken from Forest, not many carved passes. And behind their defence, not many crosses were put in the box. So we'll see how Forest are in the next 5 games. But I want to touch about Madueke here. This guy's performance is so overgassed. And I said it on Twitter, these lot can cry all they want. That performance from Madueke was so overrated. I seen him, bro. There was a time where his first touch went out for a goal kick when he tried to skip past the player. His crosses today were shocking. He put so many people talk about, look how many chances he's created. He's on corners. He was spamming crosses into the box, and it wasn't really reaching anyone. He skipped past 2 guys by kicking the ball past. He pretty much kicked the ball into space and ran onto it. What's impressive about that? Like, he was doing that at Chelsea. Like, he's not a great footballer at all. He's rubbish, mate. He's awful. He's not a good footballer. He didn't have that good of a performance. By his standards, yeah, it might be deemed okay, but that's because the bar's in hell. He didn't do anything. He wasn't that good. The reason why people are saying he was that good because he had more of the ball. On the right-hand side for Arsenal, with Saka, if you look at Saka, right, I think he's overrated, but he's a good player, right? The whole team is pretty much built on the right-hand side. Ødegaard, Saka, the right back. They're very dominant on the right side. And with Madueke, he's playing in Saka's position. He got more of the ball. And fans will look at it because they're seeing Madueke on the ball so much. They think he's having a great game. They think here, by kicking the ball past the defender and running onto it and using your athleticism, they think that's cooking. Wow, he's saucing. He's not saucing. Yeah, he's not cooking at all. I don't think he had a good game. And everyone on the timeline is literally gassing it. This is the problem with Premier League fans. The wingers like Neto, wingers like Martinelli, wingers like Garnacho, wingers like Doku, wingers like Madueke get rated because they're just direct. Prem fans love direct players. But all those players I named you are all trash at football. They're all trash. Like, Madueke's been awful for Arsenal so far. Stank it up against Liverpool, was rubbish against Leeds. When he came on for Man United, Diallo was cooking him, right? And what does that say about Saka, though? What does that say about Bukayo Saka? If Arsenal fans are so impressed about Madueke's performance, then that means that Saka ain't really as good as Arsenal fans make it out to be, if you're impressed by that. Because any winger that's got anything about him puts a performance like that, it would be deemed as average or not good enough or rubbish. But for Madueke's standard, it's tolerable. It's deemed acceptable. Yeah, bro, like I said, people can say I'm hating. I don't care I don't care what anyone says in it. That's how I think. That's how I think. And that's my opinion. If they don't like it, kick rocks. Yeah, I don't give a toss. I don't think he was that good. But people will glaze it in it. These PMP merchants will glaze it. I mean, I've seen Adama Traore kick the ball and run. I've seen Doku kick the ball and run. Madueke ain't doing anything different. Like, he's not a good player. And it's funny how they went from rioting against the signing to now gassing it up and talking about, oh, is Saka's position in danger? This fan base is lost. Absolutely lost. It's crazy to me. But Arsenal will be in and around the title race. They won't win it, obviously, because they're Arsenal. But They're going to be that team that's going to be hard to break down, get the goals when they need to, and capitalize on teams, especially the smaller teams, more consistently. Because against the big teams, Liverpool obviously beat them. Yeah, they beat United, but we're rubbish this season. So yeah, bro, we'll see what happens. And yeah, that's it for me. Big up. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and peace.